You mentioned the Yankees were a team that was built to get to October, not through October. Which team is built to get through October that is still playing in this month?
The Tampa Bay Rays. They're a team that you may not be able to name 10 people on their roster. They're starting 3 rookies in a row against the Red Sox, and it's possible they're going to sweep the Red Sox. I think they probably will sweep the Red Sox. You can get 460. It's plus 460 for them to sweep, and that makes me smile because they're a team that no one wants to think is good, but they have the smartest front office in baseball, and they have no emotion. And that is what you need to be successful in sports. You can't listen to the media. You can't listen to fans. You have to have zero allegiance to anything other than winning. And to do that, you have to trade players a year too early, not a year too late. And Tampa does that perfectly every single time.
I can't stand the way they play, David. I'll be honest with you. I can't stand the 4 outfielders and the shifting and the guy sitting in right field who's usually right around second base. I can't stand the openers. I can't stand it. It's just not the way I want to watch baseball. I'll be honest. I'm a traditionalist. I might be a dinosaur at age 52. I might be a naysayer, but it just drives me nuts. It's not something I really want to see.
So the question is, what's your goal, right? So if you're running a team, is your goal to satisfy an aging demographic who is just going to die out at some point soon? And by the way, I'm right there with you at 53 years old.
Okay.
Or is your goal to get rings and somehow get interest in younger people who want more action? Like last night's game, 4 hours and 15 minutes. Great game. I watched every minute of it because that's what I do. But it's really hard to get people to do that. So what do? You have to do anything to make the game more efficient and have more action. So therefore, do we get rid of the shift? Do we do everything that you're saying? Make it so you can't do an opener. Make it so you have to keep a pitcher in for 3 batters, by the way, which they do, and it doesn't impact the pace of play at all. Games were the longest they've ever been this year. So what changes can we make? And the answer is, I would say anything, including changing the batting order, letting people hit whenever they want to in the 9th inning. If you're down a run, let Aaron Judge hit 3 straight times or Stanton. Anything, because you, the traditionalist, Rich, you're a dying breed.
You know what, David? I don't appreciate that, but I appreciate it at the same time. I'm conflicted. I'm not going to lie. So when you say that, though, I mean, there has to still be some semblance of an order for all of this to work in my mind. Maybe, again, I'm wrong. But how would you combat it? Like, because the Rays seem to have taken an approach here where they see where the rules are and they're just screwing with it. Basically, the way that I'm seeing, they have taken a totally different approach with a slide rule and a protractor, and allow the manager to figure out, a little bit of the gut and feel, I guess. Do they allow Kevin Cash to figure out the gut and feel at all, or no?
No, there's no gut, there's no feel. Were you the guy back in high school that you'd be all angry when someone would get a 95 on an exam and not study, where you had to study really hard to get the 95, and that would make you jealous, even though they were more efficient?
Yes, I was that guy, David. I was that guy.
Okay,
yeah.
So I hear you, and I appreciate that. And I used to be that guy, and then I went to therapy, which I still do, and I'm working toward not being that guy anymore. Because if I can get the 95 and not do any work or outwork or be smarter than everyone around me and get the desired result I want, which is wins, rings, and money, not necessarily in that order, it means I'm doing something right and you're doing something wrong.
So, David Samson, Nothing Personal Podcast, CBS Sports here on the Rich Eisen Show. That's called a reset for radio purposes, David. So what would you do to build a team to beat the Rays? Which team is the best equipped to beat the Rays then this year out of all of them?
I think not until the World Series. I think the Brewers, with their rotation, again, with players you may not know, but the Brewers have quite a bullpen, except for Devin Williams. Can you imagine? When I was president of the team, I had some players who got injured with self-inflicted injuries when they lost their tempers, or we would always announce it differently to the media. We'd say, oh, they tripped on the stairs, or, oh, they were playing with their kid.
Yeah.
Or we'd make up anything because we wouldn't want to acknowledge the fact that they punched a wall or did something so stupid. So without Devin Williams, the Brewers may have a small problem because he was their setup guy, but they've got a great back end of the bullpen, a great rotation, and a lineup that's good enough, and that could be good enough to beat the Rays. But I think that's probably going to be your World Series is Rays Brewers, which is a real snooze fest for people who don't like baseball.
So why won't the Dodgers make it back? Did the Giants knock them out? I mean, the Dodgers were the team that actually went through that analytics, heartless, no gut, no feel wall last year when Snell came out and jumped all over, the result. I mean, they're the ones who have got through it last year. Why not this year?
Well, the Dodgers are financial bullies, and I'm jealous of them because they've got money. They have money to cover up mistakes that they make in signings and in trades, because if someone stinks, you just release them or get rid of them. And then the Dodgers actually can make trades. We would trade with the Dodgers. We'd give them our overpaid players. They'd be happy to take them, and we'd be happy to lower our payroll, but they'd want something in return like prospects or international bonus money or something to give them an advantage. So they really are bullies. And the reason why they're not going to get past the Giants is that the Giants are just a better team, and they're having career years from more players than the Dodgers have. I've never seen anything like what the Giants did this year. When you've got 6 or 7 guys having career years at the same time, it's like my dream. And in 18 years, it only happened for me once.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.